what's going on, everybody? It's BDF44. So, I just ordered groceries and I got this impulsive desire to come address you guys. Lakers, Clippers tonight. Something on my phone. Sorry. Lakers, Clippers tonight. It's going down. Simple as that. It's going down. Why? Because these are two teams that should feel slighted by ESPN for having the game removed from their station to be replaced with the Warriors Suns game, which, hey, I agree with. I think, in fact, most of Laker Nation agrees with that. Whom I've spoken with anyway. We're not upset at all. Why? Because our team is not playing up to par and the Clippers don't have Kawhi, and it's just not that great of a game to watch in comparison. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it won't be an amazing game, or even more so, a better game. In fact, most of the time when this has happened, especially when it's like a high-profile game or two high-profile games this is happening with, it's usually the other game that they chose that's usually the better game to watch. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers-Clipper game is like a double overtime game with spectacular everything, and the Warriors game is like a blowout or something. Watch. That's how it usually goes. But nevertheless, I do believe that would be the better game to put on national television anyway, based on what we know, not what I'm saying. So at this point, I want to talk about the game itself that I'm expecting, what I'm expecting from the outcome of the Lakers and the Clippers. We do have LeBron James. He was able to submit negative test so that he'll be able to continue with the team without going into health and safety protocols. So that was a phenomenal thing for us. We also have word on Trevor Ariza. He's back to practicing a little bit, so he's closer than ever before. So we're super excited about bringing in pieces that can help us defensively, for which Trevor's prototype should be able to do, even though I do have many questions about whether or not we'll be able to get from him what we need. I am more inclined to believe that he's going to be more of what we've already received in regards to players that are just kind of over the hill and can't really help us. That's what I expect. So if he gives us more than that, amazing. But I got DJ energy in regards to Trevor Ariza. And I got love for Trev. It ain't like I'm not a Trev fan. Clearly I am. I grew up on Laker basketball, so there's no way I couldn't appreciate Trevor Ariza and what he's done for our team already. But at this point, it's like, if you think I believe he's about to be the savior in 2021, and what has been described as somebody who's supposed to be the guy that we throw at fours, who can score and be wings, I'm like, are you guys serious? Like, that's what you're asking Trev to do at this stage in his life, in his career? To guard the best fours, the best scoring fours? That was the plan? And you expect that to work? I'm of the mindset that it's not going to say the absolute least. I'm not mad at the Lakers for putting themselves in a position to have players want to come, finish their careers here, and guys who've taken care of their bodies, who want to, take on big roles and stuff like that. I appreciate that, but no, I'm not going to ask him to do that. I like him as a guy who's shooting corner threes, maybe getting in transition, getting some good fast break plays for us, because Trev does that naturally. But as far as him being a continuous player that's going to be getting to the line, being aggressive, blocking shots, stealing, he ain't going to be doing all that. Not at this stage in his career, no. That's asking too much of him. So it's just the things that I wonder about in regards to the Lakers and what they've been asking players to do. What is it that they're asking of their team? It's probably too much, and I just think that we were kind of in a space where we're kind of riding on hopes and dreams and kind of like legendary mantras or rather auras to kind of carry us, rather than real actual basketball ability. And that's just unfortunate. As a fan, it's unfortunate. But nevertheless, we're going to be going against the Clippers. Now, the Clippers are a team, again, without Kawhi Leonard, but they're used to that. And right now, from what I understand with the Clippers, they're kind of going through the motions in regards to their ball movement. That was the last word I heard on them. I haven't followed that team, so I'm hopeful that we can kind of take advantage of what has been described as kind of a stagnant time for them offensively. Terrence Mann has been finding his way a little bit. He started off the season a bit slow. Kind of a disappointment for me. I really actually believed that he was going to take on the role that's absent right now in terms of their forward spot. There's Kawhi Leonard's spot. I thought he was ready to jump in and not be quiet, obviously, but be himself. And he's just not quite ready yet. But that doesn't mean that his upside isn't the same. Doesn't mean that I'm not as high on him as I've always been. That has nothing to do with nothing. It's just the Clippers probably need more of Terrence Mann from a night-to-night basis than he's ready to give them. So I like some of the players they got on that bench over there. The Clippers have done a good job of scouting. So they have some guys that are going to do some damage tonight that I expect. I've been hearing a lot about B.J. Boston, so I'm going to be paying very close attention to him tonight. They got some leapers on the back of their bench too, so that's what I'm looking forward to seeing. Right now, I think the Clippers are in a space where they got some talent that guys around the league, teams around the league should be aware of. Guys on the back of that bench, I've always mentioned Isaiah Hartenstein. They got some guys right now that you going shopping looking for role players, the Clippers got a few. So those are the type of things that I'm just going to be looking for tonight as far as our team's concerned. I want THT to play better. He's kind of struggling right now. We need more from him. It would be great for him to kind of bounce back from a bad game and have a really good game tonight. That would help. Avery Bradley's going to be out there, but with a bum finger. I'm hopeful that our coach will do the right thing and just don't play him as much just because he's going to be on a bum finger and he's already been kind of lacking in production to begin with. We've been giving him too many minutes. Those minutes need to go to Austin Reeves. He should be a bit better in his conditioning now. He's been back for a couple games. I want him to get those minutes. More from Malik Monk. Of course, he's doing great. More of the same is what I'm saying. Give me what you've been giving me. I'm happy with Malik Monk. He hasn't done nothing wrong. And continuing to make smart passes. As a scorer, is such an underrated ability. Especially if you're not known for passing. You're not known for kind of being the guy that creates for others. If you can create for others at times, which he has, it makes you so much more valuable than a guy who can't but can do the things that you do. So it's great that he's becoming more of a jack of all trades, slowly but surely getting himself some other aspects of his game that he's working into the equation. So if he can keep himself upwards of 4 assists, 3 assists a night, man, I'm happy because he's definitely going to score the ball. So yeah, Malik Monk has been a great addition. One of the few, unfortunately. And we got to keep on singing the praises of Russell Westbrook. Even though it's been a rough start, it hasn't been a rough week. He's played great these last 6 games or so. As I described, he was like a stock who reached his lowest form of support, and now it's all uphill from here. He's found his comfort. He's found his ability to find his way within his offense. He's attacking, finishing, and putting himself in position to cut down on his turnovers from a game-to-game basis. Turnovers are still going to be up when we go up against very, very good defensive guards, but that's going to be the case with LeBron too. I want to condition everybody who watches my channel to understand LeBron James turns the ball over almost as much as Russell Westbrook. It's not the same type of turnovers, but at the end of the game, he usually have about 5, 6, just like Russ. So it's not about necessarily Russ's turnovers, it's the type of turnovers that he has, which are so glaring and so zapping of our momentum. And that's what ends up hurting us. But ultimately, he's kind of cut that down and has given us a lot of efficiency scoring the basketball as it pertains to cutting into the defense, drawing attention like he's always done, and creating open shots for guys like Wayne Ellington and Malik Monk. So as long as he's continuing to be that aggressive, which I know he can do, it'll give us a dynamic out there that opens up our offense continuously. So that's amazing if he can continue to be efficient. And also just, do the things on the defensive end that he can do. Obviously, we know he's not an on-ball defender like that, but I've seen him do good things like take charges, get in passing lanes, get steals. I want him to make a concerted effort on the defensive end, be as active and as helpful as he possibly can, because we really, 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 really need defensive energy from our guards, and he's the Hall of Famer. He's the one that is talented enough to step outside of himself, and we need that from him defensively. He's never been asked to be a defender. He's never been good at being a defender. But in order for us to win a championship, we need defense out of our guards, and we're not getting it right now. So he's the only one that's probably going to be able to turn it on in that way besides THT. The rest of them, they're limited naturally, physically. And I love all our guys, you know what I mean? I think the effort that Austin Reeves gives us is very important too, but he's just not strong enough to be effective defensively, even though he's making good reads and he's keeping up. So he's going to get stronger, and as he does, He's going to get better on both ends. But until that time, until he's got his conditioning to where he's stronger, we have to look at him as a defensive liability to an extent as well. But it's not for lack of mental ability or even speed. Neither. I'm happy with him in that way. So I want to see the same from Wayne Ellington. Guys got to give us more defense, man. They have to. I've been one to say punt defense. We have to punt defense, but I don't think we're in a space where we can get the most out of our coach if we don't overachieve defensively. Because he's not going to give us anything offensively. He's going to teach defense. So if guys can't defend, he's rendered useless. And so, I'm waiting on the front office to make a move, coaching-wise, to fit this roster. But until they do that, this team's going to have to find something on the defensive end. And that's it. They got to find something. We can't play a Matador defense and expect to win games because, quite honestly, we're not good enough offensively to do that either. So, yeah, man, mediocre time. We are 8th right now in the Western Conference. That is good, given how we've played, to be completely honest with you. We should be embarrassed by OKC getting blown out 73 points yesterday. That should embarrass us quite a bit because we've lost to them twice. We played them again coming up this week, if I'm not mistaken, within the next couple games. And that should be circled on the calendar. Because if they lose a third game to OKC, there's going to be some people who don't watch anymore this season. I'm telling you. That's how bad it's getting. And we've talked about that too. Fans are kind of getting a little antsy about this team and losing their passion for rooting for this roster. So they need to get some things together. I would hope the Lakers will make even a small trade just to get us excited. Make a small trade. Get a second-round pick and a guy or something like that. Doesn't have to be nothing massive, but you got to show us that you're being active right now. I think that's what the fans are hoping for. That either we fire our coach or do something with this roster to bring in some infusion of defensive youth. A defensive young player who can, do some things that other guys on our team cannot. So that's what I want to see us do. He don't have to be a world beater. He can be a Damian Jones, but we need somebody right now. So that's what I got, man. Preferably a Damian Jones too, by the way. We need a center. We kind of need him. You let him go to Sacramento. They got like 100 centers. Yet another bad decision we made. Oh, and I probably already mentioned this player, but Zubac. We will be seeing him tonight. We know he'll be spirited. And that's yet another center that we could use right now, obviously, that we gave away for nothing. From Mike Muscala, who happens to play for that OKC team that got blown out by 73 last night. Yeah, that's what we gave up Zubac for. So, anyway, that's what I got, man. We'll be playing the Clippers tonight at the Crow. And, Bron will be there. So I expect big things from our big three. Anthony Davis is getting a lot of flack. Rightfully so. I've almost forgotten about him in this video. Like, I didn't even think about him. And that's on him, too, People are getting to a point where we're like, bro, you a role player, homie. Like, you starting to turn to Chris Bosh right before our very eyes. With respect to Chris Bosh. But he was a third star. Not third string, but a third star. You're playing like a third star. Nothing playing like a number 2. And the fact that the Lakers are, people like myself as fans are saying we basically waved the right flag on the championship because we don't have enough. And he's on the roster? Yeah, bro, take it personally. Please take that personally. Because that's exactly what it means. And none of us thought that when we were trying to trade for you. And I tell you this. I'm going to keep it real. That championship, it means everything. Thank God he got it. Because if we would have lost that series or didn't make it through that bubble, I would be on this camera saying I hate that trade. Even more so than I did that day. And we gave away Lonzo Ball and Brandon Ingram and Josh Hart and a bunch of picks that included the draft rights of DeAndre Hunter. I want all that back if we didn't win that championship, bro. Especially when I know I can get that dude that very next year without giving up any of that. Maybe only Brandon Ingram for the numbers. I could have kept Lonzo Ball too. I always thought that was a better decision. We won the championship, so it negated my point. But now that we suck again, and these dudes are still on the team, and Zoe look like he's going to be an all-star this year, B.I. is probably going to make another all-star team at some point very soon. Josh Hart's playing like a good role player for their team. I miss those guys. Like, literally. Especially when I look around and see us playing horribly. I look over in Chicago, they got both our guards. Zoe and Caruso balling, doing all the stuff that we need our guards to do right now. And then Anthony Davis kind of like, well, man, we got to find a way to win. Like, dude, we just gave away half our team for you. I don't want to hear that. You the way. AD on the way. The hell. So yeah, no, I'm not too high on AD right now. I'm not trading him, and I'm not screaming trade AD only because of his metrics. Because he's longer and taller than everybody else. That's it. Because I wouldn't you see me talking about screaming out trade Westbrook? I'm screaming trade Westbrook because Westbrook can't affect the game the way that AD does. AD has been just as disappointing as Russell Westbrook to me. And when I think about what a bad contract he is, if AD don't get his stuff together, his contract just as bad. I'm going to say that. I'm going to be the guy to say that. Ain't nobody else going to say that. I don't think most people believe that, but I'm telling you, if he continues to play poorly and continues to be hobbled and injured and all this, in and out, injured out, his contract is not good. If it can't help us win a championship, it's trash, just like Russell's. And I'm going to be the guy that says that. And it's on him to change that. And he's good enough to do it. It's not like I don't believe he's good enough to do it, but he's cool. He's happy. He's cool. He's a Laker now. Nah. No more of that nonsense, brother. You brought us one championship, and we respect it. But you should be bringing us 3. And you and Bron, yeah, y'all should definitely be bringing us more than 3. More than. Only reason why I give Bron a pass is because he's older. I don't give you that pass. Shaq gave us 3. AD should be giving us 3. Yeah, I put you up there with Shaq. I think he's more talented than Shaq. Cut and dry. He ain't more dominant. He certainly don't have a motor. But like basketball, dribble for dribble, yeah, he's a more talented, naturally talented player than Shaq. He should be able to dominate the league in that way. I expect Evan Mobley to dominate the league in that way. His body double, the young body double, I expect him to, I'm going to put the same amount of pressure on him 5-10 years from now. He going to need to win like that too. Because y'all were giving something everybody else ain't got. I look at Giannis the same way. Y'all were giving something everybody else ain't got. But see, the difference between Giannis ain't never cheated me no effort. He may not have run offense the way he needed to. He may have been a detriment to the offense in some cases, but he never cheated them in effort. Russell Westbrook ain't never cheated us in effort. I cannot say that about Anthony Davis. I think Anthony Davis is more so concerned about how he feels physically sometimes. The ailments, I get it. Scary. But I don't want to hear that from a guy that I know can score 60 points and block 7 shots in the same game. I don't want to hear it. I don't need nobody to tell me that we need to look for solutions with that man on his team. When he's arguably a top 10, top 5 in some people's category. What are we talking about? He's rated ahead of Dame. He's rated ahead of certain players like Clay. He's rated ahead of people like right up there with Harden. You want to hear this from any of them? I don't. So yeah, I'm killing him in this camera because he hasn't been killed enough for those statements. Got to find a way to win. We just got to look in deep. No, you need to score 50. What are we talking about? So that's what I want him to. I'm still calling him to play better. I'm not chilling. I'm not gonna let up. This ain't gonna stop until I see from AD what I expect to see from AD. I'm not gonna be singing his praises like he deserves for the production that he provides because it ain't up to par with him. So that's what I got to say about that. I didn't want to turn this into a Bash AD video, but come on, seriously, we 500, bro. That's all I got to say. My name is BDF44. Thank y'all for watching. I'm out.